Shabbos, say, stay tuned. There's a Gavaldiga podcast. Rabbi Steve Geller does a Gavaldiga Zach, and that'll be coming out this week. Torah Giants on Chumash. Shalom Uvrach, and welcome to the weekly piece on the parsha from Torah Giants on Chumash, written by Rabbi Rabbi Goodman, the Rabbi Emeritus of Young Yisrael Rockaway. Sit back and enjoy.
Welcome to Torah Giants on Chumash. I'm Steve Geller. This week is simply another beautiful hidden message in popular pasukim we're all familiar with. Let's take a look at our parsha. Hashem tells Moshe to speak to the congregation of Bnei Israel and tell them, Kedoshim tihiyu, be completely holy, ki kadosh ani Hashem Elokeichem, for I, Hashem your God, am holy. The next pasuk, every man should fear his mother and father, ve'es shapsosai tishmeru, and to keep my Shabbos, ani Hashem Elokeichem, for I am Hashem your God. And the next pasuk, do not turn to idols, nor make yourselves molten gods, ani Hashem Elokeichem, for I am Hashem your God. These three pasukim speak to three clearly delineated stages of adherence to Judaism, yet all end with the same very sanctified holy phrase, Ani Hashem Elokeichem, I am Hashem your God, almost suggesting that these three hold a common place in Jewish life. The first pasuk makes the highest demand of Jews, to be holy people. The second calls for adherence specifically to two of the Ten Commandments, which are fundamental precepts. The third only demands that we not turn to or manufacture molten images that we or others would worship. What is the point of ending each pasuk equally with the same phrase, I am Hashem your God? Rav Ovadia Yosef said in a public lecture that the Torah teaches us that each Jew must strive to reach his own level of sanctity according to his ability and background. We cannot ask every Jew to be on the level of what Hashem would call a completely holy person. We can't all be a Chafetz Chaim, a Chazon Ish, or a Rabbi Feiner. For some Jews of simple background, keeping the Shabbos may be a huge sacrifice in the time and place that they live, and that would be seen as an act of sanctity for them. For a Jew forced by circumstances to live isolated in an alien environment without a community to support him, merely resisting the practices of his neighbors may be an act of great heroism and holiness. It's very interesting to me that honoring your parents is mentioned next to keeping Shabbos. For many Baalei Tshuva, the decision to start keeping Shabbos usually puts a big strain on one's relationship with their parents. I think this pasuk sends the message that while you embark on this very holy adventure of Shabbos observance, you have to do so with the utmost respect for your parents who may not immediately be on board. And if that is done right, it can be an amazing thing. I became from as a Ben Bias at the Holy Khan family from New Orleans. That's the bias behind me. Dr. Saul, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, and Carol Khan, who remains as close as real family could possibly be, with their son Tzvi, who's been my closest friend for almost 50 years. Their family story is amazing in many ways, including how their family became from. Here's a short video of them explaining the story that perfectly proves the point of our pasuk.
Now, Dad, what was the big, for you, what was the big step that I think is important to mention in terms of our family, like becoming Shomer Shabbos and everything?
Yeah, it was simple for me. My wife said, that's what we're going to do, and that's what we did. That was when Tzvi came home from school, and he was about 12. He said, I got to get out and get an apartment. So, Tzvi, what are you talking about? Radical. He said, well, wait. He said, I have to move into an apartment, a little small one. He said, because everything you all taught me to learn, I can't keep living here and learning all those things. So that helped convince us to start keeping everything the way we should.
The goal of every individual Jew is to strive for greater and higher levels of sanctity as we progress through life, each according to his own circumstance of environment, background, and education. This section of the Torah was addressed to the Tzibor. Hashem told Moshe to speak to Kol Adas B'nai Israel, the entire congregation of B'nai Israel, to instill in them the fundamental idea that collectively they can and must become a holy nation, even as each member reaches his own maximum level. The Pardes Yosef records an account of Rav Shlomo of Radomsk, who preached this concept when he found himself at an inn with some secular Jews who asked him to teach them some Torah. He hoped to at least influence them not to intermarry or convert. Rav Shlomo no doubt took the time with these secular Jews because of the lesson taught in Pirkei Avos. Rav Hillel said, don't separate yourself from the tzibor, from the community. In his discussion, the Pardes Yosef mentioned that the Hebrew word for the entire community, tzibor, is an acronym for tzaddik, Benoni, and Russia. The tzaddik, a holy person, the Benoni is the average Jew, and the Russia is the evil Jew. The message being that the Tzibor, Klal Yisrael, is one nation that should seek to uplift and help everyone achieve their fullest potential in their quest for holiness. And because we are all one nation, the best thing we can do is to share wonderful Torah from Rabbi Goodman with the rest of the Olam. And as it happens, that couldn't be easier to do. Just like our video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and hit the share button to copy the link to this video so you can simply paste it into emails, Facebook, WhatsApp groups, or your social media of choice. And please leave any comments or questions below. They will all be answered, as we'd love to hear from the entire Tzibor. We go to yeshiva to learn, that's Torah. We seek closeness to Gedolim, that's Torah. We daven for inspiration and v'sein chalkeinu b'sorasecha, that's Torah. We come up with chidushim in our own learning, that's Torah. Maybe. Share your chidushim. Send your original Torah pieces to torahmaybe@gmail.com or email that address for more information. Also visit www.youtube.com/@torahmaybe.